Europe came to Africa with guns, ships, and armies. They thought it would be easy. They were wrong. What history books refuse to tell you is that across the African continent, brave, brilliant, and ferocious warriors stood up, fought back, and won. Today on Forgotten Empires, we are telling the stories of the African warriors who looked European armies in the eye and defeated them. These are the stories they buried, the heroes they erased. Not anymore. March 1st, 1896, northern Ethiopia. The Italian army marched into African land with over 17,000 soldiers, modern rifles, and cannons. They were confident. They believed no African army could stop them. Emperor Menelik II of Ethiopia was ready for them. He had assembled over 100,000 Ethiopian warriors, men and women, armed with courage, strategy, and a burning desire to protect their land. What happened next shocked the entire world. The Ethiopian army completely destroyed the Italian forces. Over 7,000 Italian soldiers were killed in a single day. Thousands more were captured. It was the most decisive defeat of a European army by an African force in history. The Battle of Adwa did not just save Ethiopia. It sent a message to every colonial power on earth. Africa will not go down without a fight. Ethiopia became the only African country never to be colonized, and it is because of the warriors who stood at Adwa. Now I want you to hear the name Yaa Asantewaa. Remember it, because this woman deserves to be known by every person on earth. It is 1900. The British Empire has captured the Ashanti King of Ghana and exiled him. The British governor then called a meeting with the Ashanti chiefs and made a demand so insulting it is hard to believe. He demanded to sit on the golden stool, the most sacred throne of the Ashanti people. A throne so holy that even the king himself never sat on it. The chiefs were silent, afraid. Then Yaa Asantewaa, a 60-year-old queen mother, stood up. She looked at those chiefs and said words that still echo today. She said, "If you men will not go forward, then we women will. We will fight the white men. We will fight until the last of us falls." And she meant every word. She organized and led the Ashanti army against the British Empire in what became known as the War of the Golden Stool. Her army fought so fiercely that Britain had to send 400 more soldiers just to handle one African woman and her warriors. Yaa Asantewaa was eventually captured, but she was never broken, and the Golden Stool was never surrendered. She won. If you want to understand military genius, look no further than Shaka Zulu. Born in 1787 in what is today South Africa, Shaka transformed a small Zulu clan into one of the most powerful military forces Africa has ever seen. He invented completely new battle formations. He trained his warriors to run 50 miles a day without stopping. He replaced throwing spears with short stabbing spears that forced his warriors to fight up close, where they were unbeatable. When the British eventually fought the Zulu army at the Battle of Yaa Asantewaa in 1879, they suffered one of their worst defeats in history. Over 1,300 British soldiers were killed in a single afternoon by Zulu warriors using tactics Shaka had developed decades earlier. A British army, with guns and cannons, was destroyed by warriors with spears. Military schools around the world still study Shaka Zulu's battle strategies today. He was not just a warrior, he was a genius. In West Africa, in the region that is today Guinea, Mali, and Ivory Coast, one man fought the French Empire for nearly 20 years. His name was Almami Samori Touré. The French called him the African Napoleon, and they did not mean it as a compliment. They meant it because he terrified them. Samori built his own empire, trained his own army, and even built his own weapons factory to manufacture rifles when the French cut off his supply of guns. Think about that. When Europe tried to starve him of weapons, he built a factory and made his own. He fought the French from 1882 all the way to 1898. 16 years of resistance against one of the most powerful empires in the world. When the French finally captured him, they were so afraid of his influence that they immediately exiled him to Gabon, where he died 2 years later. They could capture his body, but they could never capture what he represented. Samurai Touré proved that African resistance was not just brave, it was intelligent, strategic, and relentless. Yaa Asantewaa, Shaka Zulu, Emperor Menelik, Samurai Touré. These are not just names, these are proof. Proof that Africa was never a continent of victims. Proof that when they came to take what was not theirs, Africans stood up, picked up their weapons, and fought back with everything they had. History tried to erase these stories. Textbooks left out these names. Movies ignored these battles. But the truth cannot stay buried forever. These warriors fought for their people, their land, and their dignity. And because of them, we stand here today. Forgotten Empires exist to make sure their stories are never forgotten again. If this video made you feel proud, share it. Someone in your life needs to hear these stories. Subscribe to Forgotten Empires and turn on your notifications. Next week, we are uncovering the story of the richest human being who ever walked this earth. A man so wealthy he accidentally crashed the entire world economy just by traveling. That video is coming very soon. You do not want to miss it. See you there.